Welcome to The Healing Artist. I'm your host, Frida. Friends, I spent the majority of my life not wanting to be here. I had a catastrophic spiritual awakening in 2019, and at that point, I chose life, and it changed everything. I went deep within, and from that process of massive amounts of meditation, over 250 spiritual texts, working with energy healers, walking meditation, yoga, swimming, nature. The culmination of all of the teachings have landed me in this place where I am now, and that is wanting to share. So let's dive in. Friends, I have such a treat for you today. We are being joined by Wren Morrow. Wren is an outdoor boudoir and erotic adventures photographer based in the Pacific Northwest. She guides individuals and couples through deeply embodied sensual experiences in wild places. Oh, Wren, I am so excited to see you this morning and meet you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
How did you even begin doing this work? How does one decide that they want to become an erotic boudoir photographer?
Surely no one decides it, I think.
Okay.
I feel like it is one of those like one door opens the next. I didn't I don't think that I knew that this style of photography existed. I knew boudoir existed for sure, but I don't think I had ever really even seen someone like do it outside until I was doing it outside.
Mhm.
Um, I think that uh yeah, I had moved from the South. I was living in Tennessee and I had moved to the West Coast and I had started dating a musician and he had been really passionate about me like finding an artistic outlet and actually bought me my first camera
Oh,
and was just a huge part of me like claiming and owning being an artist and being a photographer. They say fake it till you make it, and it really was like that. It really was this um just claim, practicing just saying I am a photographer until
wow.
it sounded natural coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Um, Before that, I had worked in bars and restaurants, and I started taking photos in bars and restaurants, like for social media content. And then I don't even exactly know how it happened. There was like a little seed inside of me that like was interested in that. I'm a Scorpio, I'm deeply sensual. And so I was interested in that type of photography. I feel like all of my work kind of always looks a little bit like that, even when
Mm,
it's a cocktail. It's like, am I being
sure. That's a
serious? But
sexy cocktail.
yes, exactly. And then me and that same partner lived in a van at the time, and we spent a lot of time naked and in wild places. And
Mm.
after an entire upbringing and young adulthood, just fully confined by religious dogma and having a female body that was responsible to make sure that she didn't cause her brothers to stumble, um, to just like be in this place where I could be naked and seen and not in a context where I needed to like be sexy or look some kind of way, but to just like exist naked outside in these wild places where it just felt right. It felt correct. It
Yeah.
didn't feel like a um I don't know, there was nothing forced about it. It just felt like being able to just shed something and exist. And I loved it so much. I started to have more access to my body and like felt the shame just kind of like unraveling and like falling off of me. And I was like, I need to offer this to other people. I need to like bring people out here to have this, to do this. And there's something about this type of photography that ends up being like a coach and a guide to have this experience. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I just it really snowballed. I didn't really know like how much or how well it would take off. And then the more I did it, the more people saw it and were like, oh my goodness, I had never considered this. Like I would like to do that now. And so there was certainly no point where I set out on the journey. It was more just like, oh, I guess this is what I do now. Okay, cool.
It unfolded naturally for you.
Totally.
So it sounds like that was an incredible van life experience there for a while, but like being able to shed with nature, like
Mhm.
returning to the nature, returning to the land, returning to that divine feminine within, which is something that is connected through our Mother Earth. So being in the forest and then, like feeling that and waking up and then shedding. Honestly, the religious dogma is the patriarchy. That is the control. That is the thing. Yeah. Do you want to talk more about that? Like, what was it like growing up in the church?
Um, Yeah, I mean, I know everyone's experience is different, and that there is no one, especially in this country, that has not been touched by it because it is not limited to the church. It has completely infused itself into our government, and it is
Oh, yeah.
like religion is the word for it, but it is not limited to a church building by any means. Um, my parents were incredibly concerned with keeping me pure.
Ooh,
And so, because of that, when my parents got married, my mom and my stepdad, they took me and my sister out of school. We started being homeschooled so that we didn't get influenced by the big bad world. I wasn't allowed to watch any movies that my parents hadn't screened first. So, for example, I've actually still never seen Shrek
okay.
because my parents pre-watched it and deemed it inappropriate for me to watch. And then at a certain point, it just seemed like maybe
You
I just
aged out.
missed. Yeah, like at 22, like if you could see Shrek for the first time at 22, would you? I don't know. I haven't. So, um, so very restricted from that. They bought me like a purity ring, and there was this whole concept of like, I'm never gonna date. I'm only ever going to like meet a man who wants to be my husband. And then he immediately needs to talk to my father and get his permission to begin courting me, which is dating not just me, but my whole family. And so when I was 13, we lived on an Air Force base, and my parents found out that I had a boyfriend, and they moved our entire family of 5 children off base to a like to a town called Reardon that had a population of 50 people, but we were like like on a abandoned pig farm on like 12 acres, entirely isolated. So there was just no sort of like understanding of even like how to be in the world but not of the world, which I think a lot of
Yeah.
Christian approach is. My parents were very much like, if we just prevent you from having any sort of access to this, then you'll be safe.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I'm feeling that experience in my body, and I'm just like, ooh, got compassion. Like that's really hard, man.
Dude, it was wild, and it didn't work because then it just like gave it even more allure and even more draw and even more like I was like, why is this thing like so bad? Like, why can I not have this? And so I would still, I became more like obsessed with it and like tried to find like sneakier avenues to get access. And it created a personality that really, even to this day, struggles with fantasy because I spent a lot of my childhood very isolated. I was a big reader. I still am. But like having access to books and then like visualizing things, romanticizing things. I think you can tell in my work, it feels very dreamy and very fantasy like,
Mm,
and that's a safe place for that to be expressed.
yeah.
But even to this day, I still can have struggles with romantic relationships where the fantasy of it or it's not it's not held by reality, and like the expectation for it to like be the one and the only thing like still can trip me. I'm 34 and it still can trip me up and have me like, oh, whoa, girl, and I just get like I can get swept away because it was almost like so much restraint that it like catapults me like towards it.
Yeah. Do you still talk to your family?
Yeah, yes and no. I have my parents are no longer religious. I actually stayed religious for longer than my parents did. I had at this point, or at that point, gone on as a young adult to start working for the church. I became a youth pastor. I married the worship pastor. I was, yes, very, very involved. And around that time, my mom actually, I think I was maybe nine, I guess before then, so around 19 or so, my mom actually apologized to me for raising me
Mm.
religious. And I was like, there's no reason to apologize, mom. Like, this is the truth. I've found the thing. I'm sorry that you've lost it, but I'll pray for you. Like the reverse Uno.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but that's interesting probably too for your mom and her experience. Like what a trip to have together.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I think my mom has a lot of emotional instability, and it creates my entire life has created a pretty volatile relationship between us. So we go in and out of talking because it can just be really painful for both of us to um keep engaging in the same painful cycles where we don't feel seen or held or known. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so
The ability to
like
create safety for one another. Like often one person has to do a hell of a lot of healing to be able to like bring the other one in compassionately sometimes in that kind of situation.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And then we've taken turns doing that. I feel like
Yeah.
almost like
Yeah.
she there's so many times I want to be really mad and be like, I deserved different or better from a mother. And I always have to check myself because one, like, what does anyone deserve? Like, what the fuck does that mean? These are the cards you were dealt. And then two, she had me when she was 17.
Mhm.
Like, she was a child. She was literally a child and then ended up marrying someone in the military and moving around. So not having a sense of stable community or family or support as a child, became very quickly became a mother of five kids, trying to homeschool, trying to do everything. Like, I have so much compassion because like I definitely would not have done a very good job in that situation either.
Right.
um but to hold the adult perspective of compassion for her, but then also hold the child within me who didn't have consistent access to love and kindness, like, and holding all of that at the same time. I feel like our relationship has a we'll be in a flow, we'll be able to talk, and then it's just kind of like a tap out. Like, actually, I can't hold this space for you for now. I'll see you on the other side. Thank you so much.
It's so interesting though, because now you are behind the lens and you're holding that space and helping the people that you're photographing feel safe to unveil themselves and show themselves and be really vulnerable. Like the thing that you wish that you could have had, or that like, compassion you're doing with nature behind the camera, guiding people through the experience of just like, you're safe, you're okay, your body isn't wrong or bad. Like it's pretty cool.
Absolutely. I believe that all trauma is like how we access our superpowers.
Yeah.
And to be the child of a mother who was incredibly emotionally volatile made me super good at reading people.
God,
Um,
yes. Right.
and so
Oh
my
my God, the
ability
trauma superpower map. It's like this is just like you know what the hell's coming because oh my God. Get
totally.
ready.
And it's honestly, it's really powerful to I call it closing this gratitude loop. When you can directly see the like in the painful impact and then like what it gave you because of it,
Mm.
it's no longer a thing you're resisting. It's no longer this thing that's like, oh, I can't believe this happened to me. It's like, I'm so grateful that I have this an amazing skill, this
Yeah.
amazing superpower. And it closes the loop. And these things, we have to hold them. They have to be able to move through our bodies. And so when we have something in ourselves that we're like, that shouldn't have happened to me. I hate that that happened. I didn't deserve that. I don't like it, we're preventing it from being able to cycle through our nervous system. And so whenever you can find that gratitude like piece, it closes the loop and allows for this thing that is crunchy and weird and difficult to hold to then like have this like smoothness to it so it doesn't get like jammed in our systems.
Yes, 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 and yes. I love that. All of it. Yes, and yes.
So when I'm out there like photographing people, I I am so attentive to how they're feeling, and I can see the tension, I can see the fear, I can see the joy, I can see the apprehension, I can see the like almost like the way I see it is like everyone kind of starts a little stiff, a little scared, a little nervous, and there's like somewhere along the way where I see this like tiny little opening of like curiosity and like maybe is this working? And it's that little spark that I like coax and I'm like, yes, 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 I love that. Wait, hold on, lean into that. Wait, hold that. Okay. And fan it until it actually becomes this like breathing, full embodied, like feeling themselves moment. So
Yeah.
it's like
And that's so
it,
empowering. It's so powerful.
I want to ask you, what do you feel? Do you know off the top of your head what you feel like your trauma superpower is?
God. Yeah, so geez, what is I got many. I got a whole
Oh,
bunch.
yes. Yes,
Like,
full.
but I guess with the most like the recent like coming out as the semi-trans voice channel, I spent so much of my time as a child because I had sexual abuse trauma and I had a childhood of verbal abuse. So I learned how to leave my body. And like with the semi-trans voice channeling, you fall back and the energy comes in. So it's like, so I leave
Mm.
vacant to do the work to speak through my voice. And I had to teach myself to be embodied. I had to learn how to pull myself into my body. So now I have a really conscious awareness of leaving, coming back, leaving, like how to
Mm.
navigate that. And not a ton of people do the semi-trans voice channeling. It's out there because it is like a unique set of skills. That is one of them. But the ability to read a room
Mhm.
pretty damn quick and know where all the exits are and
I'm saying, where are the exits? I got eyes on every one of them. That's my
less so.
threat, and that's my friend, and that one's she's a bitch. Like I'm just like, what's up? Okay, very good.
Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, that's the underground. I think a lot of people with trauma and especially experiencing that early on, they've got those low-key skills for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I
That's
love the
so cool
idea
to
of
hear.
turning it to a superpower though. It's like really empowering. It's good.
My my one of my very good friends, Owl, recently released a book called Trauma Didn't Break You. Or it's called Unbroken. And like the tagline is like trauma didn't break you, it made you like a highly trained individual, like with a super skill type thing. I can't remember exactly I can't believe I'm doing him dirty like that. I'm not remembering the tagline, but it's very much that understanding of rather than trying to force yourself to behave normally, like seeing these breaks as access to superpowers
Yeah.
is really, really helpful to the living after trauma experience.
Absolutely. I mean, I would take it a step further, sort of like with the all of the meditation practice I've done. I genuinely actually believe we come here with a set of circumstances that we would like to put into place. Often those really early childhood ones, it's like these are the things that I'm going to. This is my family of origin, and it's like,
Mhm.
no, and now this, you have created my root chakra, and now I spend a lifetime getting out of it. What patterns have been put into place that now we
Mhm.
get to learn through and grow through? And that's what it feels like to me. And early on, that really helped me accept what happened to me because like I spent so long angry, right? So
Mhm.
angry. And that anger was important. But it gets to a point where it's like I'm not a victim. I how can I take this and now move past it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
In Chinese medicine, anger is the emotion that gets the leaf to burst out of the branch.
Hmm.
And I always love when anger is triggered in me to try to understand what action is being asked of me. What like this is enough like gumption to like make something happen. So what is it that I'm trying to make happen? And for, you can, if you have it focused on your past and on like what happened, it's like, well, the anger has nowhere to go. You can't do anything about what happened. it's
You can
it's done and
self-destruct.
gone. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so then it's just living in your body, living in your
Mhm.
nervous system, unable to find its like outlet. But then to see, okay, well, now I have important work to do to make sure that that doesn't happen to someone else, to speak to the people that it did happen to create boundaries around myself to make sure it doesn't happen for me again, like whatever it is, like that emotion is the fuel to like really do some important work, and it shouldn't be suppressed. It shouldn't be like hid from. It shouldn't be redirected like into the past or stuck in the body, but like use it to create the world that benefits from that pain.
I am right there with you. Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
fully feeling that. Something you're reminding me of is back in the day, you remember that show Intervention? Is that something you've ever seen?
Oh,
It's
I
like,
haven't seen it, but I do
yeah,
understand the concept. Yeah.
yeah, people that are struggling with drug or alcohol addiction, and it's like they walk back their stories. And 80% of those first origin stories are abuse of some sort.
Mm.
And when they went and asked for help, the help was denied. So there's also like a
Mm.
community aspect too. So it's like,
Mm.
because like when I disclosed what happened to me, my parents were right on it. I was in therapy and I was believed. And I often think, oh my God, I could have been like my superpower got ignited because my parents believed me and I got some help. Like what
Whoa.
happens when nobody will help you? What happens when you have to scrabble and get yourself out of the hole? It's like
Whoa.
it, there's an element of like how can we love each other, how can we have community to share and help one another out of the holes because it's easier when we're there, and it's easier when you do things like you're sharing your story because it could touch someone else and they can hear it and then they know that there's hope. You're not
Mhm.
alone. It's like when we feel so alone, what is there? There's like less of a point. It's
I'm
easier to numb
saying.
out if there's not others, so yeah.
I'm saying. The wow. Sorry, I just need like a second to just like fully integrate that part of the fact that most addiction origin stories can be traced back to a moment where they asked for help and that help was denied. That's like got me.
Yeah.
Wow.
How can we be there for each other? And then I've looked at your photographs, which are absolutely gorgeous, and they do have that dreamy element to them. There's a very like misty quality. They're beautiful. Um, to be that person,
Mm.
to open up and walk through this journey, because afterwards you actually have a physical thing. You have a photograph to look at and be like, I am empowered. I do have
Mhm.
power. I can take my power back. Look at that. Because we can't see ourselves that way. So then to share that gift of like, how are you to see through the camera's lens so that then you can observe yourself. Oh, that's from a
Mhm.
different party. Hey, I look good or whatever
Mhm.
lands.
Mhm. The
Yeah.
proof is in the pudding, babes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh yeah, it has been incredibly important to me to create an empowered, embodied, radical, self-love, cheerleaded experience. And I do not really care about the photos. Like my old business name like didn't even have like photography in it because it was like adventures
Yeah.
because
But they're that byproduct. They're that take
they're
home.
the
That it's the
byproduct.
experience.
They become keys. If you have ever gone in your camera roll, you know how powerful photos are to transport you
Yeah.
into a different time and place. I think of them as keys to
Mm,
unlock a memory
mm.
of an experience. And so for me, it's all about creating the experience. And then these are just little keys to help you access it again at a later time when you have forgotten, when you don't remember, when you like need a little like yeah, reminder of who the fuck you are and what the fuck you're capable of and how good it feels to like be in nature, to be outside, to be like that you are a part of this planet. I have since not, I don't live in a van anymore. And I've spent the last couple of years living in a city and we forget where we come from and how easy it is to feel well and whole in natural places.
Yes.
It's not an effort. You're
Yeah.
in the city and it's like I'm clawing for my humanity. I'm clawing to remember that I'm okay, that this is okay, everything's okay. Cause it's kind of not. There's lots of our things that are not okay, and having a not okay response to a not okay experience is healthy. And despite the medication everybody wants you to be on to make you feel okay with something that's not okay,
Yep.
um,
Yep. Yep.
I I think that to be able to have access to like, oh, I am well, I am whole, this is right, I am exactly where I belong, I belong to this is so important. And just being able to have access to that and hold that in your heart, even as we figure out what it looks like moving forward and how we continue to adjust in this new world. So anyway, yes.
Yeah. I definitely believe that we have the ability to create a world that is more equitable for all of us. I do believe that there's a falling down that needs to take place, but the ability to rebuild, I think, is really exciting, and I know I'm more than ready for it. You are
I'm
too, I'm
completely
sure.
Girl, I'm a Scorpio. I am never afraid of when the thing falls down. I'm the person you call if you get a divorce, you just went through a breakup. I'm like, yeah, let's go. You just opened up a whole bunch of energy. Like my
Yes.
sister called me. My sister had moved in with this guy that I hated. And she called when she was still in Tennessee. She called me up one night and it's like 6:30 in the morning my time. And I'm like, what is she doing? And I knew before I even picked up the phone, I was like, they broke up. She called me. She's like crying. It's like, we broke up. I don't know what to do. We live together. I don't do it. And I was like, now is the time. You just accessed a whole ton of energy. You have a gumption to you right now that you're not gonna get if you settle into something else. Move to Seattle now. And she
Mm.
did. And now she's like been here for 3 years, has like so nestled into her community, to her life, is so happy. But like that break apart, I mean, energy's never created or destroyed. Like it has to be reallocated. So when the things are breaking down, everybody starts to get a little panicky. Everybody starts to get a little like, what? And I just feel like holding this vision like you're on a tightrope and you just are like holding yourself centered, locked into how you want it to feel rather than just getting so distracted that things are falling, kaleidoscope shift, blah, blah, blah. Like don't go because then all you're gonna do is have your consciousness like focused on everything that's flailing everywhere, and that's all you're gonna find if you keep walking. But you just let it fall down around you and you keep walking towards the future in your heart is possible, and something even better than that, holding that vision, just keep moving towards that, eyes closed if you have to, so you don't get so distracted by the craziness around. Like we're gonna be all right.
Yeah, I fully feel what you said. And like part of the word that is so important in what you're sharing is the feeling aspect. What do you want to feel like? What does it feel like in your body moving forward? It isn't about what we're seeing and it isn't in our logical mind. It's what is your body? How does your body move towards what it prefers? What does your body want to
Mm.
feel like? So it's like, it's so, yeah, just really, really feeling that. I love that so much of what you're saying. I'm like, yeah, you're an energy healer. It's like it's not using the same words though, right? Like we have different little woo-woo words, but I'm like, oh, you're an energy healer. You're doing all the things. Da, 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 da. It's just in a different way. But how cool is it that there's so many different ways to heal?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there isn't a right or
Anytime
wrong
you step
way.
into your embodied experience
Yes, yes,
and like work with the materials, you're in the laboratory, babes. Like
yes.
it's that there's no, I don't know. I feel like there is like an emphasis on healing that sometimes I get a little cognizant of to keep using that word because it always implies that like we're unhealed.
Very
And
fair. Very
and
fair.
I recently um fell and got myself a proper boo-boo on my knee. Like I was like running in a gravel parking lot, slipped, hit the fucking deck, got a chunk taken out of my knee. I had a scab that was this big, girl. Like it's like
Woo!
bigger,
Yeah.
like 2 quarters.
Ouch.
And it was gnarly. I have done nothing except for not pick at it and leave it be, and it is healing
Hmm.
all on its own. So I have to think that the unseen I'm a true believer that the physical and the non-physical are mirrors of each other.
Hmm.
And so when we hyperfixate on healing, I'm like, girl, I did nothing to heal this knee. It is healing, but I did facilitate it by pursuing health, by like resting when I needed to, eating proper nutrients, getting proper sleep. Like these things are more to me are more important than like specifically healing because I think it can get us a little bit hyper fixated on the wounds
Yes.
um rather than the healthy containers where the wounds just like have the space to heal.
I love that. Yeah, thank you for sharing that and bringing that forward. There's sometimes I feel like a level of some of the big stuff we do have to look at it. You got to look at it a little bit, but we don't have to stay in it. But sometimes that thing wants to
Mhm.
have a voice. Sometimes like if we pushed a piece of ourselves away, it would like to have a voice before it can begin to heal.
Totally. I mean, like in the same way, if you like it, that was a skinned knee. You know, if I broke my leg, we would need to take a second and realign the
Right.
femur and
Yeah.
not just leave it as is, because if you just leave it, then it will like heal around it and it'll be all janked up, you know? So attentive enough to make sure that it's in proper alignment and was able to be seen for like where it went sideways and how it can be pulled back into to function. Um,
Really,
absolutely.
yeah,
There,
it's really about stepping out of that victim consciousness of like feeling like abused or taken advantage of. It's like, how can you step into your power? How can you take your
mhm,
power back? But I mean, I just personally, I knew I had to feel like a victim until I didn't anymore.
mhm. Yeah, this it serves us
Yeah.
well for a long time, you know, but it's like, uh, yeah, I know
But I do agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah. It's going to be a curiosity. I think there's new energy available that we don't have to go over this shit over and over and over again anymore. Not the way that it used to be. There's more access.
we're doing it faster.
Faster,
We're
faster,
doing it
faster.
faster, and that's like yes, everything's moving faster. Even some of the like energy healers that I work with this lady who's so beautiful, so powerful, and she's probably in her like mid 50s. She was like, your generation has just you're just able to do it so much faster. You're not like pulling it through the mud anymore. You still have to pull the same amount of weight, but it's like the density around us isn't as thick. And so we're able to just like get a good little pace going.
Hmm.
Also,
Yeah.
I'm so sad for the people who are just listening to this because that was a hilarious visual.
I liked it. It was real good.
I was not expecting the sleigh. Okay, anyway.
Oh my gosh, this has just been a delight to chat with you. How would people work with you if they're in the Pacific Northwest, if they're feeling inspired, they want to get their picture taken? How would people work with you?
Oh my goodness. Well, firstly, they don't have to be in the Pacific Northwest. I love to travel. I do travel quite a
Ooh,
bit.
all right.
Um, yeah, so especially you get like a little handful of people in your little community, like
Hmm.
let's make it happen. Um, yeah, my website is wrenmorrow.com, WRENMORROW. And there's an inquiry form, and that would be the way to start. That's where we'd start dreaming and talking about what elements you relate with and to. Because just as we are each such individual beings, like there's so many different expressions of nature. And some of them it's like in the forest and the moss and the ocean and the waterfall and the lake and the snow, whatever, like there's so many ways. So we just start like dreaming up what it could look like and where somebody would feel the easiest and most held and able to be witnessed.
Mm.
Um, and that would be the way. And if you and I'm also on Instagram under the same name, and there you can see more just like what I'm up to. And I'm very erratic with the kinds of things I post. I think maybe in 2026 I'll be start to be a little bit more consistent with like what we're talking about. But
If you want to. I have like very weird feelings about social media. I'm like, I don't know. It's like if it, I don't know.
I know. I'm like, I can't figure out how to like stay. Like, I don't want to. I'm not like buying into any sort of algorithms, but sometimes even to myself, I'm like, wait, should this be? Should I? Okay, very good.
It's like, am I enjoying this? Is this fun? And then it's like, if
Oh,
it's not, I'm like, no.
yes, very good. I love that.
Ren, I just such a delight. Such a
Oh my
delight.
goodness. Frida, this
And
has just been so sweet. Thank you so much for having me. I've loved just like resonating and riffing with you. And this
yeah,
is, thank
yeah.
you.
And I loved just chatting about healing stuff in different ways. I feel like we're doing the same thing, just different ways. And I think that's so
Absolutely.
cool. I love recognizing that and seeing that in other people. Oh,
Thank
my
you for the work
dear.
that you do. Thank you for holding the vision of hope and light and not being distracted by the destruction and just like embracing that. I think it's the greatest gift of those of us who've been impacted by trauma. Just like
Yep.
we know that it's not the end of the story. It's actually a portal to our like highest and most
Oof.
glorious selves.
Yes, 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 yes. And on that note, Ren, I wanted to tell you that I love you.
I
Universe
love you.
Source. Oh, thank you. God, Universe Source loves you. And I hope that you have a wonderful day.